Greetings, I'm Carm, a sophomore at Long Beach City College, and I'm presenting how non-fungible tokens, aka NFTs, worsen the effects of climate change and revealing its other issues. But what exactly are NFTs? Well, the most popular and hilarious example is to imagine that Jerry has a wife. She's dating other people, but not to worry because he owns a marriage certificate that says she's his wife. That's what an NFT is, minus tax benefits and anything that has to do with the law. Most importantly, the printer that prints out said certificate has the possibility of its power output equaling that of New Zealand. To fully understand what NFTs are, we'll have to discuss fungibility. A fungible asset is something that can be exchanged with something else of the same type or individual good. For example, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, 4 quarters equals $1, and so on. A non-fungible token can be a digital or tangible asset that's unique, not interchangeable. Think of trading cards, in-game items, airplane and concert tickets, videos and songs, and most typical artwork. The NFT includes a token, as the name implies, linking to an address that certifies you as the owner of the particular asset. This does not include copyright, as that is reserved for the artist or creator. What NFTs do include is the receipt of ownership, a hefty environmental price, and bragging rights. To clarify, NFT is the certificate of ownership and not the asset itself. This means if you were to buy an NFT, you would have the link or address to the Google Drive file or wherever it's stored. Since artists still retain copyright and keep royalties, they can reproduce a base model of a piece, make small changes to it, and mint it as a new NFT, while still being paid passive income for past NFTs every time it passes down ownership to someone else. Some popular examples are CryptoKitties, Bored Ape Yacht Club, as pictured above, for almost $2.3 million US, and CryptoPunks, with the most expensive sold for $23.7 million. Many NFT enthusiasts would be agitated at me for having this on my slide since someone owns it, but all I did was copy and paste. Not illegal, since NFTs do not have the law as a third party. Now that we have an idea of what NFTs are, we'll divulge in the system called proof of work. To clarify, this is not a tutorial on how to mint NFTs, but rather the inner workings leading to my claim, which is mainly about blockchain. Minting an NFT starts with uploading a file to a marketplace and price tagging it with Ether, the cryptocurrency of Ethereum, which is the main NFT blockchain network. Ethereum is decentralized, meaning it is not controlled by one entity, but anyone can append to it, and distributed, meaning that its past transaction history can be seen and distributed to all who have the address. Under the proof of work or PoW consensus mechanism, the transaction is first requested when submitting an NFT, which is then sent to a mining node on Ethereum's network. Active nodes take in the request into their waitlists, and they aggregate hundreds of transactions at once into a block. The work itself of PoW is the mining, in which it receives puzzles from the Ethereum network to solve, called a hash. Think of a hash like a fingerprint, but with alphanumeric characters, and the difficulty rises every time it is solved. The mining node then throws billions to quintillions of possible solutions per second at the hash in order to crack it, similar to trying to identify a fingerprint utilizing the DMV database. The amount of solutions a mining node cranks out in a second is called a hash rate, which is dependent on the mining node's computer build, or if in a mining pool, dependent on other people's computers. Under a smart contract, the system validates the transaction and thus produces a block under the blockchain. A block includes a new hash, the previous hash, and the previous owner. Every transaction has a block, whether it's minting new NFTs or buying them from the owner. Smart contracts are a substitute for the law, dependent on a program that scans the transaction for any fraud and also sets conditions on it. Our focus is on the mining, as that takes up a lot of power. Average hash rate has to increase in order to be more profitable, as the difficulty of puzzles also increases over time. Mining needs a constant internet connection, high wattage, high graphic processing unit power, aka GPU, and constant spending on replacing the hardware. If you have someone's Ethereum address, you can copy and paste it into an Ethereum carbon footprint calculator called carbon.fyi by Offsetra. Utilizing data gathered by Digiconomist, country energy data in 2019 by carbonfootprint.com, and gas units by Ethereum's database, it is able to estimate the footprint along with the person's transactions. It is humanly impossible to calculate every single person's Ethereum address with this calculator, especially it does not load for me when attempting to compute the top NFT investors. Also, Ethereum is used for various other things than just NFTs, and there are also NFT-supported ledgers other than Ethereum. But I attempted to form an idea of the size of the average footprint by starting out from a sample of new NFT investors found on Twitter. Many new NFT investors invest their time in NFT giveaways in which they reply to their Ethereum address under the giveaway tweet. I tried to have the sampling as random as possible by having a tweet picker regurgitate 8 random replies from 2 tweets. So the average seen here is 16.15 kilograms of carbon emissions every transaction, but that is due to several things. First, my sample size is small and consisting of 8 new NFT investors. Also, not all investors are from the US, so they do not utilize the same values. Most importantly, there is a wealth disparity where the top 17% own more than 80% of Ethereum's NFT share. Not only that, but every block added to an existing chain produces more carbon than the last due to the increasing difficulty of the puzzles. So some counter-arguments to the production of NFTs are that watching YouTube videos have the possibility of being similar to the carbon footprint of NFTs. But the main idea is that NFT consumption can be diverted elsewhere to something more beneficial, and the power generated for NFTs is much larger in comparison to other digital contemporary activities. A single Ethereum transaction is the same as 200,000 Visa card transactions, or the amount of energy that can power a home for almost 9 days. The New Zealand printer analogy in the beginning was not a joke. That is the approximate amount of power consumption in Ethereum for 1 year. Plus, this does not take into account the digital waste generated. Increased need of hash rate means installing new equipment to keep up, so older hardware is trashed. Since NFTs have just flourished recently, there is no data on Ethereum e-waste. But I will use Bitcoin's e-waste as a placeholder, which is 2 iPhones every transaction. So, viewers are probably wondering what gives NFTs their value. Think of it as digital contemporary art in museums, with its added benefits of being easily sold and its detrimental impact on the environment. What gives NFTs its value is how much people want it, supply and demand. Some NFTs run for a limited time, while others are sold inside video games such as Feral. Other NFTs can be a random chance through gacha games or through giveaways. They then are sold by the previous buyers of how much they speculate that a person would buy it for. If you think you can make quick bucks with NFTs, the IRS will also make quick bucks out of you. The law is not a third party, but the IRS has been targeting NFT investors that have been avoiding taxes. Typically, a third party would include going to court to gain ownership in a contract, but NFTs only have a smart contract and nothing else in between. Besides it being fraud, it can also be a means of money laundering. There are rumors of someone that hyped up their NFT to which people threw money at it. When it came out and investors bought it, they were redirected to the link of a picture of a rug rather than the promised artwork. This is called rug pulling, in which the person seems to sell a legit NFT but does not give a valid address and dips with the money. Theft is also a common occurrence. Although the smart contract and consensus mechanism fact-check the transaction, it does not fact-check artist permission, nor does it check for stolen artwork. Alright, so maybe you want to dip your toe into the world of NFTs because buying artwork like collectibles. The best alternative is to commission artists. You can ask for customization on your commission and pay to help someone who desperately needs the cash. Plus, you don't have as much of a carbon footprint. If you want to be in the world of NFTs for supply and demand, the world of stocks is still a viable option, as it does not depend on miners to sell stocks. There is also the association with laws that push stock companies to implement greener methods. So, if you are thinking of dipping your toe into the world of NFTs or blockchain in general, try to think again. Thankfully, Ethereum has been announcing that they would be more environmentally friendly in the future by transferring from PoW to proof of stake called Casper. Other NFT ledgers are also being developed to try and minimize their impact on the environment, but at the moment, NFTs have a lot of flaws with the system itself and the detrimental harm that comes with them. In conclusions, a no freaking thanks to NFTs. That is the end of my presentation. Let me know if you have any remaining questions. Thanks for watching. And lastly, here's the work cited for the sources that were not included in the slides.